Welcome to the Ausgel podcast, where we bring the Gelball community together. Each week we have a special guest where we talk about what's new in the world of Gelball, be it milsim, speedball, and everything in between. Now, welcome to our host. Hi, I'm Dan from Ausgel.
And I'm Timothy from Urban Gelball.
And today I'm going to have a chat with the owner of one of the largest indoor Gelball facilities we have.
Hi.
All right, Tim, mate, firstly, thank you very much for joining us on the podcast. It's greatly appreciated. Mate, tell us a little bit about who you are and what it is you do.
I'm Timothy, and I'm one of the two people responsible for the crazy idea that is Urban Gelball, which is probably, in my opinion, the tightest indoor CQB field in Queensland.
Yeah, I do agree there. So when Tim's saying tight there, he's talking about literal physical geographical tightness of the barriers in the field there.
For those who aren't aware or haven't been, if you've seen any movies where they do an SAS kill house style mock-up, that is what our field is based around. So tight pine, framed up walls.
Yep.
And I think we run down to some of our corridors are 600 wide. So
it's actually quite an adrenaline-inducing field, because I remember when I played through that field the first time myself, there were only 2 to 3 meters you could see ahead of you, and around any one of those corners you might run into someone who will light you up with a fully automatic burst. So, yeah. But look, tell us a little bit about your background. So we'll go through your background first. What did you do before Gelball, mate?
That's a very long story. I'm a jack of all trades. I come out of tech industry mainly. I've worked for a couple of internet service providers. I've worked for some car parts companies, worked for some builders. I currently run a manufacturing and tech consultancy on the side, or I don't know which is my main job and which is my side hustle some days, but
yeah, nice.
And then a mate of mine who's a reservist rocked up one day with the old clear Wells M401.
I remember
He's like,
those. Yeah.
Check this out. And I'm like, I'm going to give one of those a try. Went down to Tactical Edge Hobbies in, I think it was Yatla, their old store.
Yeah,
the corner. I think I bought the clear G36C and a M4SS.
G36C. That was actually one of my first gel blasters. I think I got that from Joe, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, played outdoors for a little bit. Talked to one of my best friends and my business partner, Rachel.
Yep.
And we looked at outdoor and then decided that there wasn't any indoor at the time. We could see a benefit of being able to play nights.
Yep.
And then
you just open up the indoor field. Yep. Yeah, I remember it was one of the first back in the day. There wasn't too much else out there doing that sort of thing.
As far as I know, when I could look back, we were sort of getting ready, and then hardcore popped up as well.
Ah, yes, of course.
I think they officially beat us open by 1 to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I think there might have been, I want to say one shot up north, but there was one indoor field up north.
Yeah.
That was open before us. So
interesting. There you go. But it's good having the options there, and I think using that comparison of hardcore blasters and another field I love playing at, it's just they're two different sort of styles, because I know hardcore, it's got like it's a little bit more spread out. There's a lot more objective base sort of stuff, whereas your field, I've noticed, is a lot more close quarters. There's a lot of on the fly tactical decision making that needs to be made around every corner.
Yeah, so I've talked to a lot of people who try and draw comparisons between Urban Gelball and hardcore, GSA, Crossfire.
Yeah.
I don't really get in too much to the comparisons, because, in my opinion, I've put a lot of effort into designing our field the way it is.
Yep.
And I don't think the other fields compare, because it's like trying to compare maybe calibers in firearms or different race cars from completely different competitions.
And that's it.
Hardcore's great.
Yeah.
They have more room than us.
Yeah.
They have a bit more open space.
Yeah.
Crossfire's great. They obviously have a very particular theme design.
Yeah.
That allows you to flow from buildings to open areas and back.
It's actually a good point that you're raising here, because I think there's less focus with the actual field operators. Every time I've spoken to all of you, there's less focus on competition between the fields, like business competition, and there's this sort of underlying level of respect where all the different field operators just understand that they each have their own sort of different niche, and I've always found that interesting and quite honourable to see fields. They don't hack on each other. Realistically, as far as I've seen, they all sort of respect each other's different styles and understand where they all fit into the industry.
Yeah, and I suppose that was, when we opened, that was one of the big things that we came from was, if I'm going to be indoor, we're going to have room and we're going to be able to run it during the week.
True.
I wanted to run the way that people go and play netball, squash, TRL, that kind of thing. So we do run a Saturday session, but we don't run a Sunday session. And that's to try and encourage people to go outdoors, play some of the outdoor fields. The first field I played is Donnybrook.
Yep.
I still
definitely one of my first two.
Yep.
I've got to get David on here at some stage, but yeah.
I still duck in, play there a session every now and again. But I didn't want to try and take players out on the weekend when I have the option to take players in every night of the week.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So go experience something different, and you can only do that at a lot of the outdoor fields on the weekends because it's the weekend.
Yeah.
So why step on someone else's player base? Yeah. Why get in the way when we can both grow together? And I've got players who love playing outdoor at Donnybrook and love playing indoor at Urban. So now they have the ability to do both.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And what kind of players do you get at Urban Gelball?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. There's the answer.
We run the gamut from very seasoned, experienced players.
Yep.
All the way back through to, as you would have seen, I shared a video a couple of weeks ago. We have one of the local out of school hours cares.
Yep. On
their vacation care, bring their groups of kids in.
That's awesome.
So we've got speedballers.
Yep.
I believe Midnight Kendo officially did come together at Urban Gelball.
Excellent.
Mystical Casuals, Eat My Gels, Pink Hats. I'm sure there's
Midnight Kendo. That's Dally Dog plays with them.
Yes, that's who Dally Dog.
Because I remember, so back when I used to play a lot, I remember
those were the days.
one of the first games I had at Urban Gelball. I was hanging around with Zach and the rest of the slops, and I remember Dally was just doing these laps. He would just jump onto the field and just run these rings around the field and just obliterate everything. And every time I'd spawn, I'd run into the field, and next thing you know, I've got a couple of shots in the back, and it's Dally just doing his run around laps. He's an absolute freak of nature as a player, that guy. But yeah, it'd be entertaining to watch as a ref, I'd imagine.
Yes, yeah, and I'm going to be honest, the way that the Speedy Boys play, we have done things to the field to challenge them.
Nice.
To give those that play the Milsim style, the SWAT style, a little bit of an advantage.
Ah, nice.
I suppose not advantage, but to even that playing field.
Yeah.
We're on our third field design now.
So a few more twists and turns?
Yep. More twists and turns. The feedback I've got from the newest layout is every corner has a strong and a weak spot.
Yep.
So you go out, you're sitting there, and I think Rob, one of my own refs, said it the best. He's like, he was completely posted up, sitting there looking, and he said this spidey sense just started. Oh, I'm completely uncovered over there.
Yeah.
But it even took him a half second just to click through that, and that's the strongest we've managed to get it. So
that's good.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob as well. Yeah. A good fellow, Rob. He works for you over there as a ref, doesn't he?
Yeah, so our two full-time refs are Dylan and Rob.
Yep. Excellent.
And then we've got a couple of other, I'm not going to say part-time because they just drop in occasionally, people that help us. Yep.
Yeah. Hey, Red.
And then, I was going to say, and then outside of that, we have Red, who helps us with our social media.
Yep.
And then Rachel and myself.
Hey, Rach.
and there's a few other people in the background who sort of just volunteer little bits here and there.
Cool. Excellent, mate. All right. So look, as a business owner operator in the industry, how have you actually found the experience of working within the Gel Blaster industry? Has it been challenging? How do you find the other businesses? How do you find working within regulations and police and the ABF? And
so, paraphrasing a quote from a different industry, if you want to become a millionaire in the gel ball industry, start as a billionaire.
Yes.
It is very much a hobby business.
Yes.
I'm never going to make my millions off the field. What I have made is close friends.
Yeah.
Yes, it gets stressful, and as with any business, I am silly enough to own 3 businesses.
Yep.
So it's not like I'm unaware of the challenge. The industry as a whole is pretty good to get on. You get personalities and egos, and I think you get that all the way back to preschool. So realistically, it's not much different.
It's in just about any industry. But what I've personally noticed in the gel ball industry is you've got a lot of people who haven't been involved in running their own business ever, doing that for the first time in gel ball, and there's a lot of I guess speculation on how much business owners make in gel ball. And there's an assumption that everyone's just going to be, rolling in their millions in mansions and supercars and so on and so forth. But the reality isn't quite like that, is it?
So, and I don't say this as a negative because I've survived COVID. You've survived COVID. A lot of us have. And I think that is a big pat on all our backs.
Yeah.
But my payment for going into the field each week is that I get to play a game about once a month. I don't currently take, nor does Rachel, currently take an income from the field.
Yeah.
It is somewhere that we can go and unwind a little bit, somewhere that we can go and hang out with friends.
Yeah.
We both enjoy the game style. Rachel and I are both gamers.
Yep.
So being able to bring that
into reality.
Yep. Run around.
No, that's cool. And it's something that I think surprises a lot of people because, even when gel ballers out there, they consider that some gel blaster businesses might be making, millions of dollars, gross revenue. But then when you get someone to think about the bigger picture and you sort of say, okay, well, just imagine you're a company that makes millions of dollars. Let's say you're a company that hypothetically employs 100 people. And the minimum wage in Australia, I think, is just a little bit over $40,000 or something like that. But imagine if you've got 100 people, you're paying each of them an annual salary of, minimum wage. How much does that cost, each year? And you offset that against, the millions that these businesses are pulling in. So, yes, there are gel blaster businesses out there, that enjoy, annual gross revenue in the millions. But, the costs of employees, the costs of buying new stock, leasing, it just goes on and on and on. And the reality, I think, is, you generate a lot of money. You pay a lot of tax. So great for the government, for you guys that are watching out there from state and federal governments. And, so it's good in that regard. But, it is definitely tough going, running your own business, especially in this industry.
Yeah, and that's why we branched a little more into the parts and the blasters and so on. There is a little bit more money adding that as an extra bit to the field. But in the grand scheme of things, at the end of the day, yes, we are turning a profit.
And if you weren't, why would you be in the business, Yeah.
But if my accountant had his way, he would recommend I put my energy elsewhere because that profit doesn't justify.
That's it.
But I see other benefits. There's groups of friends. There's friends that I've made.
Yeah.
It all comes together in the end.
And it all circles back to that initial statement you made where you're referring to, if you want to make millions, make sure you start off as a billionaire. Because, the gel blaster industry, it is an industry that's thriving. But the kind of people who are running businesses, they're people who want to be in the industry. You have to want to do this. So, that's something to keep in the back of your mind. For those of you out there looking at getting into the industry. You know, it's you have to enjoy what you're doing. Now, Tim, got any future plans for Urban Gelball you can share with us?
Keep succeeding at the moment, I think.
Yeah.
So we did set out to be a franchise.
Yep.
So we have some basic stuff in play for being a franchise. We actually have had 2 separate sets of talks with 2 other groups of people.
Yep.
And then COVID.
Yes.
So I still cross my fingers that down the track something might come about from that.
Sure.
But at the moment, I mean, we've just done a field change. We're looking at moving a little bit more into the marketing space.
Yeah.
In terms of trying to put out, I wouldn't say more content, but different content.
Yeah.
I have some more video cameras that I've got. We're doing bits and pieces.
Nice.
So just trying to do that and trying to balance that.
Excellent. So with all of that style and everything, do you personally, because I know you play gel ball a little bit yourself, do you have a personal preferred play style of gel ball that you like to stick to?
So obviously I love my CQB. And I very much like transition drills and stuff like that where you're running from rifle to pistol and back again. It surprises people that...
So that's like the Milsim CQB sort of style?
Milsim CQB, yep.
Okay.
And then I'd
like to see you wearing latex, though, in a Speedy Boy outfit. That'd be funny.
A few people have said that.
But anyway, sorry.
I do also enjoy outdoor Milsim. So I do run with a group called Secret Squirrels. Was very honoured.
Hey, guys.
Very honoured that they invited me to join them.
Fantastic.
Close to a year ago now. And that outside Milsim, the 12, 24, 48-hour events is probably my escape in the gel ball industry where I can just be a player. 100% just... I'm there to pew-pew with everybody else.
That's awesome. And, man, I've seen a lot of good stuff there because I know that you've gone up to... Did you do Susan River with Tidy and those guys?
I've done a couple of Susan Rivers now. So there was ComSims, Combat Simulations Australia, did Operation Tempest at Susan River. And
then there was also... Was there Tour de Skirmish? Was there one there?
Tidy Toys did Parabellum 1 at Susan River. I've done K5 and Juliet 15 out at Toowoomba.
And then the big one...
and then I did the latest Parabellum out at Arachula.
And how about overseas?
I did also get invited to join Aussie Assassins Milsim and OZ1 to go to, I think it was called Rise of the GLA in New Zealand.
Nice.
So that was our cousin sport airsoft. That was a blast on so many different levels, not the least the fact that I could get someone at 100 metres.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
So, that was great.
Cool. Well, it's good to know that exists there. And what Tim's talking about there, guys and girls watching this, once a year, isn't it? I think that's when they normally try to plan it outside of COVID.
Yeah, I think there's 2 or 3 different groups that plan. So I did one at the start of this year. There's 2 more planned before the end of the year.
Yeah.
But I think...
And these are trips to New Zealand to go and play airsoft.
Yep.
Yeah. Fantastic. Oh, that's cool. Well, given that, you like your indoor CQB sort of style and your Milsim stuff, do you have a favourite gel blaster?
I would probably say at the moment I have 2 favourite sets of gel blasters. So
explain.
I pair everything up. So I have my first Azrael's Armory purchase.
Yep.
Which was an Falcor Defence Blitz.
That's a nice looking blaster.
Yep, which is my primary Milsim gun. It is a little bit longer, but I still use it pretty well indoors.
Yep.
And that's just a bit of practice of being able to go through a door, bring it down, bring it up, bring it down, bring it up, which makes me more aware.
Further away.
Both.
Yep.
But makes me more aware of where I'm pointing it and how I'm moving.
Cool.
When you're moving with something that's 750 mil long, I think.
Yep.
You have to be aware of how you're going to point and do, which is a strength for indoor.
Yeah.
And that gets accompanied with the Azrael's Armory TTI 2011 Combat Master.
Yeah, that's a nice blaster too.
They also go outdoors quite a bit with me.
Yep.
Otherwise, My other favourite set is the LDT UMP, the new one.
That is nice.
That thing's an animal out of the box.
Yep.
And the WeTech SIG.
Oh, some of the stuff coming out from
226.
WeTech is,
Yep.
oh, man.
So
Yeah, some really nice stuff there.
I should also put an honourable mention. I haven't played enough with it yet.
Yep.
But the LK58 from Tidy Toys.
Oh, yeah, nice.
I've run one game with it.
And it's pretty nice.
And I really, really enjoyed that.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, those LK58s, I've held one before at one of the local stores here. Really nice, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I do like the finish and the build quality. Oh, that's cool, mate. That's cool. And it's something good that you've mentioned there, because a lot of people out there that are considering, if you've only got a long barrel blaster out there and you think that might be a detriment to you trying to play CQB, as Tim's just said, it shouldn't stop you. And at the very least, you can use it to some extent. You can employ it in a CQB field if you just want to test it out and test the waters, see if you like it.
So the other thing that I'll probably say, and mini plug that shouldn't be a mini plug, but all of what I would refer to as the really high end blasters that we sell at Urban Gelball, we actually have that entire range on offer as an Uber rental.
Oh, nice.
So if you actually want to try the JG Works Org, the SIG, the LK58, some of the Wells stuff, or some of the APS blasters,
you can hire it out.
We hire them. And then if you want to go on and buy one, you know what it's like. So majority of what I have in store is geared towards CQB.
Yep.
Kind of doesn't make sense to, sell the SMLE Lee Enfield or something at a CQB field.
Makes a lot of sense. Well, look, let's wrap up then. And while we're on the topic of company plug, do you want to tell the people listening and watching how they can find Urban Gelball?
Well, really easily. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Urban Gelball. Managed to score that with no weird characters or anything in it.
Excellent.
Instagram, Facebook. I have a YouTube channel that I'm doing very little with because all the videos I had to put up on it at the moment are from my airsoft trip. So, and then urbangelball.com.au, which is where all of our bookings go through. And if you want to check the rules, know what's going on,
Excellent. All right. And guys, as always, I'm Dan from Ausgel. You can find Ausgel at www.ausgel.com.au, and we're across all the socials as Ausgel and on Instagram as @AusgelAmmo. Thanks very much for watching. See you later.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Thanks for tuning into our podcast. It means a lot to us. If you enjoyed today's podcast, leave a comment or review below and hit the follow or subscribe button. If you have any questions or want to be part of a future episode or even want to know more about Ausgel, head to ausgel.com.au to get in touch.